Hey guys, for literally the 100th time I'm filming this because my phone won't screen record for some reason. Didn't save.
I love you.
I'm so sad. It doesn't record. Plan B. It stops recording by itself. I'm so mad. That's why I was talking really fast. I'm so mad. I'm gonna teach you guys how I edit my Instagram pictures. But yeah, I'm doing this because a lot of people compliment my feed and always ask me, oh, how do you edit your photos? So I'm gonna show you guys now. I'm not really showing you guys so you guys can like exactly copy what I'm doing. It's basically to inspire you to play around with the app and see what there is to offer for you guys to find your own style. So basically I'm going to show you guys how I edit like a bunch of different kinds of photos, because how I edit it, I don't really edit with like a recipe or anything. Like for example, like +2 contrast or -2 like brightness or whatever, you know? So without further ado, I will show you guys how I do it. I use this app called VSCO or VSCO, and a lot of people use this app for editing their pictures. I know how to edit photos on like Photoshop, but for like Instagram, I don't really use Photoshop for it because I feel like this is so much faster since it's just for Instagram. And it's also kind of like an app where you can share your images too. So basically to import a picture, you just click the top right corner, there's a plus sign. We're gonna start off with this picture that I took at Tobermory of rocks and like the lake. At the bottom left corner, we're gonna click on the options. Okay, so basically it takes you to the page with presets. I use the preset HB1 or HB2, but for this photo, I'm going to be using HB2 because it is a brighter, more daylight photo, whereas HB1 I use for photos that are taken like less exposed and in the dark. So we're gonna click HB2 and we're gonna click it again so we can like edit how much of the filter we're gonna put on. And then we're going to go to the options. So this is where we can edit like exposure, contrast, clarity, and a lot of other stuff. So basically we're going to go with exposure first. We're gonna click on that and we're going to go up a little bit, and then we're gonna go with contrast, go up a little bit, and then we're going to go with Sharpen. This also helps with like the texture of the rocks and everything and the texture of the water. We're gonna go up with the saturation, and the white balance we're gonna go lower because I use white balance to unify my whole feed because I like to have like that blue color. And basically if you hold on the picture and the release, hold release, you can see how it is before and after. And yeah. Next we're gonna edit a picture of a journal that I made. We're gonna click on that and then click on the options. We're gonna go with HB1 and we're gonna bring it down a little bit. Because this is kind of dark, we're gonna go with a higher exposure. And because it's kind of overexposed now, we're gonna go with contrast. You also want to sharpen so the words can show up more, and clarify so the words can show up more. And we're gonna go with a little bit of saturation, and then we're gonna go with white balance and make the temperature a little bit lower. And then that's it. Before, after. Before, after. I'm gonna save that, and that's that. Next, we're going to edit this picture of my sister. This is more of like a brighter feel picture. So I'm gonna show you guys how I used to edit my photos like a few years ago. But this is the filters and the techniques that I use because I like to have a brighter feed back in the day. So basically I used to use f2, and we're going to bring that down a little bit. I'm going to bring down the exposure a bit, and then we're going to bring up the contrast. For white balance, we're going to go up for the yellow and then down for the green for temperature and tint, because there's a lot of yellow and green going on in this photo and we kind of want to like make that pop. And then for skin tone, you see if you bring the skin tone downwards, she turns like really yellow, really pink. So we're going to bring this up a bit. And yeah, that's basically it. There's a lot of different things on this options too. For fade, a lot of people use fade, but I personally don't like it for my feed, but I like it for like a lot of other pictures, just not for me. Grain as well. Grain and fade, both are like really vintagey styles. So if you're going for that vintage feel, I recommend those two. This is before, after. And lastly, we're going to edit this picture of me on the sidewalk. So we're gonna select that and then go into to the options, and then we're going to go with HB2. We're going to bring that down a little bit, just a little bit. And then we're going to go with exposure. We're going to bring that up. And then contrast, we'll bring that up too. Saturation, well, we're going to bring it up. White balance, we're going to bring this down a little bit. Skin tone, yeah, we're going to bring it up. And then we're going to go with adjust. So I already have this on my feed on Instagram, but this is basically how I edited it. And then I'm going to crop it like this because I feel like that just looks better for the photo instead of showing my legs. So this is before, after, before, after. Yeah, that's basically how I edit my photos on Instagram. I hope this inspires you to play with your feed and try to actually try with your feed, because I think having a nice feed is really satisfying for me, and I just like looking at it, because basically I treat my Instagram as a place where I can show my life and be creative at the same time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope you guys found this helpful. Until next time, I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.
I'm gonna go now. Bye.
I'm so sad because you were so funny in the other one.
Dude, put them in bloopers.
Okay, I will.
Oh, tell me that talk can never win the lie. Oh, tell me that rock can never win the ride. Baby, tell me that we gon' someday stop the fight. And tell me that everything gon' be alright. Oh, tell me who's stupid, baby, has a me or them. Just tell me who's insane, baby, has a me or them. In this crazy world, after patience, could we get the pearl? But this world was teaches me, preaches me how to curl.